Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Rich. All right, welcome to a new series. These are going to be called 10 Minutes With, and we're going to do the debut episode with Barry Windsor Smith. The kind of the theory behind this is that I know that it's a huge commitment for someone to watch one of my art review videos, if you want to call it a review. Well, I just like to enjoy art. But you know, the thing is it's not like a video that you can listen to. I mean, you can listen to them, but generally speaking, it's like I'm expecting you to spend an hour watching a video looking at art. So what I thought I would do is do these shorter sort of quick dives into just tons of different stuff, and it's a fun way for me to, one, provide content for you, two, really do a lot more videos for YouTube, which I think will help everything, and also be enjoyable for people. And it's kind of a win-win for everyone. So anyway, the first book that I thought I would do is Adastra. I happened to see this yesterday. I mean, I've seen the book before, but I came across it yesterday, and I just glanced at it, and I was like, man, this is some good stuff. And you know, Barry Windsor Smith is incredible, so there's never really a bad time to look at Barry Windsor Smith. He's very influential. So let's get into this. One quick plug. I have Patreon. I'm not one of those people that begs people to go to Patreon and there's no content there, or I'm lackadaisical with it. There's between 700 and 800 videos up there. They're all long. There's inking tutorials, there's penciling tutorials, there's stuff on anatomy, perspective, everything. A bazillion book reviews that I don't upload to YouTube for different reasons. It's loaded, and it's $1 right now. I mean, it's been $1. I've always kept it. There's a tip jar between $1 and $5. You can tip $1, $3, $5. And that gets you full access to everything. There's a review tier that's $20 where I do a 20-minute review of your art, and it's really helped a lot of people. And then I also do a $50 tier that's lessons. I've done hundreds of lessons and reviews, hundreds, tons and tons. I do them all the time, and really helps people. So anyway, this is the last month that my Patreon will be $1. It's either going to go up to $3 or $5 after this. So if you want to hop in and check it out, you can. Then what I'll do is maybe every 4 to 6 months, I'll do $1 month where people that want to check it out, they can't afford a higher amount, can get in, and you'd still have full access to the library. So that's how it's going to go from here on out. All right, let's get into Adastra. Adastra in Africa. You know, Barry did a really kick-ass X-Men issue with Storm that has these vibes. I would guess that this was done afterwards. This is 1999. It definitely was done afterwards. This is some really phenomenal work. You know, Barry just released a book called Monsters that was quite incredible, but I want to see one thing, and this is the interior. It's very detailed. It was done over a period of many years. This probably was done, I would say, I mean, I would imagine it took him a year or two. It's quite detailed stuff. Really beautiful work. Like I said, even though this is done in 1999, Barry Windsor Smith and Neil Adams, to me, are the two guys that really brought rendering into comics. Bernie Wrightson also. But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that between Neil Adams, Bernie Wrightson, and Barry Windsor Smith, they really, in terms of comic artists, I mean, Frazetta obviously too, Al Williamson. There's other people that if you go further back, but you know, Jim Lee got a lot of his rendering from Barry Windsor Smith, and just that alone influenced a bazillion artists. I mean, Scott Williams, just, you know, Wills. This is really cool stuff. Barry has a tendency to draw a particular face, and so everybody looks kind of mythical and very exotic looking, but it's really badass. These skulls tied with the rope are so creepy. So 1999, Barry Windsor Smith. My guess is that he probably worked on this between like 1997 and 1999, because he was doing some stuff for Wildstorm in the mid 90s. Because when I got there, he was working on Wildstorm Rising. He did one issue of that, which was, at the time I liked it, but I didn't love it. Now I think it's actually very cool. I'm more used to his aesthetic. But yeah, he's just such a badass. He's a great storyteller, but he's also a great illustrator. I think the combination of those two skills makes his stuff like extra incredible. I mean, obviously everybody loves Weapon X. You know, it's a very very iconic Wolverine story, but this is cool. I had to draw some of this type of stuff yesterday. Oh, it's cool. I've not read this story, so it's definitely on my to-do list. I think it would be fun. It's a one-shot, so it should be pretty manageable in terms of tackling it. Look at this. All right, here, I'll pull out so we can see the whole image first, so we can soak that in. So it's Adastra in Africa. Barry's a great letterer too. If you have either of his Opus books or the studio book, you'll see that Barry is actually quite adept at lettering and has a real kind of cool like Led Zeppelin-y type font that he uses. Very, very 70s or late 60s kind of stoner font. Looks like runes, you know, kind of thing. Not sure. I'm sure there's a name for it. This is a lot of work. These are really nice pages. So if you ever see a scan of Barry's stuff in RGB, like a artist edition type style file, one thing you'll notice is that he actually does use quite a bit of blue pencil. And in fact, he credits that as actually giving his work, although you can't see it in these reproductions because they're grayscale. They look like they're RGB, but they've been grayscaled before they've been turned into these RGB files. But he feels that when you see the originals, it actually gives it more life and more sort of volume and stuff like that, which would be accurate because you're getting shade, meaning value, and value will just naturally create sort of more of a volume sort of appearance. So. And as I do more of these 10-minute videos, I'll get better and better at being able to nail bullet points. So just hang in for the ride, and it'll be sweet. I'll get better and better at this. I love the way he draws kneecaps. It's actually very cool. But yeah, I was just like, I was going like, man, you know, an hour video is such a big commitment for people. These are great. You could do these on your lunch break, eating a Sammy. You're like, I know what I'm going to have for lunch. Barry Windsor Smith and turkey on whole wheat. Or a sub sandwich. It's like, always get the sub, Rich. I do love a good meatball sandwich. I will say that, too. Oh, toasted bread. I'm actually, we'll see. I think you guys will be surprised. I'm gonna lose a lot of weight. I shall be quite slim soon. Not soon. I'm not doing anything crazy, but yeah. Oh man, that is so cool. But yeah, if you go back and actually look at Jim's stuff, you'll actually the more aware you are of Barry's stuff, the more you'll see that, like, I mean, this looks right out of a Jim Lee, like this side view right here. It's just spot on. Jim was really good at assimilating influences into his work and then just creating this very palatable, kind of like up the middle style. Yeah, this is great. The lighting and stuff like this. And this, you know, the thing is to Barry's credit, this is an absolutely very lush looking black and white book. Which is not easy to do. You can look, it's not about detail. It really is about value. What I mean by value, again, is white, gray, which gray is the line work, and then these darker areas. And he's creating a real strong composition with this stuff. There's a lot of people that fill pages with detail, but it's not laid out well. There's weird spaces between objects. Things don't flow together well. I saw a piece of art yesterday, and it was like everything was spread out, and it was each little area was detailed, but it wasn't a good composition. It was very jerky. And this stuff just doesn't feel that way at times. I mean, Barry actually maybe puts a little too much detail, but none of these pages seem to suffer from it. This is great with this like steel rigging or whatever you want to call it. So this is cool. Man, his ink line is so badass. It's very lively. What you'll see with his work is um, like a taper. Oh, I got a really funky brush. I can't do it. But you know, if you look at these lines in the middle right here, they none of them are flat. They're not like a drawn line that's just this like static thing. You got a few like in the rib cage up here, but he usually has a pretty nice bounce and sort of thin thick to his line that creates a lot of energy. And just vibrancy to the overall work. If you start to gravitate towards things like microns and rapidographs and multi-liners and stuff like that, if you're not aware of what a brush or a crochet will do, there's a tendency for sometimes people's work to look flat. They may not see it, but a professional will notice it. And the problem is that it's not just the professionals notice it, but like a normal fan, it won't feel right to them, but they won't maybe be able to explain or spot what the issue is. That's the same with the lines around these, like this arm. Look how thick this line is right here, and it creates a nice separation, but he has thin here, and this is even, there's not even a holding line here. If you look, this is a white line that actually bleeds into this. All these like subtle things. Look how thin these lines are on the arch of the foot, but it's thicker here. The curl of the toe and the lines there, it all adds to the rhythm, and the more of those beats that you miss when you're doing a drawing, the weaker the drawing becomes. It's just the facts. Damn, dude, you're coming out of the gate firing, Rich. No, just telling you the truth. That's the rub. Like I said, it's just people will respond to the work, but you just won't get that like ridiculous where people are like, oh my god, I don't know, like how do you do this? How does this look so cool? Those are the little like, we'll call them X factors that really stack up. They're very subtle, but that's why they're not complicated to learn. They're difficult for people to be able to discover, especially on their own. I have no life, so I have plenty of time to discover. All right, what do we got? We're winding this down. We're gonna hit right at 10 minutes. Went a little longer because I had to explain what we were up to, but it's all right. Barry does great trees. It's like, I would highly recommend like if you're a fan, check out Opus #1, like his first hardcover book, and that'll sort of grease the wheels in terms of if you want to get the other one. But I would highly recommend it. It's a fantastic book. I'm nearly sure I've done open that book on it. So if you actually search Barry Windsor Smith on my channel, you may find it. It's kind of like a Dark Phoenix kind of vibe. All right, so we did it. We did a 10-minute video approximately, and tomorrow I'm going to do another one. Tomorrow I know what I'm going to do. I won't tell you, but it's not an American comic book artist. It's a Japanese art book that I've dipped my toe in the work before, but we'll revisit it and do a quick 10-minute dive, get people excited about the work. It rhymes with Banaka. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. I'm gonna get to work, finish my book. All right, bye.